Greetings on a Tuesday night. It's the NBA on 2K Sports. Special K, Clark Kellogg is here. The sharpshooter, Steve Kerr, is in the house. On the sideline, the effervescent Doris Burke. Coming up later from our reporting position on the sideline. The fans are making noise here at Phillips Arena. The Atlanta Hawks getting settled in. And now the opening lineup for Boston. Rondo, Allen, and Pierce are the perimeter. Garnett out there with Brandon Bass. And for the Hawks, Joe Johnson and Josh Smith at the forward slots. Heinrich is out there with Teague, and it's Collins in at the center position. Now here's Rondo. Bass. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. It's going to be on Josh Smith.
You know, Brandon Bass, Kevin, not really a household name, but he's a nice young power forward. Consistent, steady, plays well at both ends, and even though undersized, he gets it done inside.
That's also good. So he hits both free throws. And Brandon Bass, for a power forward, Steve, has a nice face-up game.
Well, that's the strength of his game, guys. You know, the way he can knock down that mid-range jump shot. He'll turn and catch and face, get you in that triple threat position, and then rise up and knock down that jump shot.
Now, here's Bass. Pierce for 3. Kirk Heinrich with the rebound. Boston on D. Kevin Garnett with the steal. Bass can't get it to go. And it's the Hawks' ball.
Well, Atlanta was in the playoffs a year ago, but they were not as strong as they were the previous year. And one of the reasons their home record suffered a bit.
Here's Rondo. All right, let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Kevin, I had a chance to catch up with Coach Larry Drew. He loves this matchup and believes this game presents them with a great chance for an offensive explosion. I think our strengths offensively could pose major problems for them. We'll find out, Kevin.
Wonderful stuff, Doris. Thanks. The early game plan, Clark, centered around their offense, it sounds like.
Yeah, and I think that's fine as long as they don't sacrifice anything from an effort standpoint at the defensive end.
Yeah, exactly. And I like the strategy, guys, because when you get off to a good start offensively, you feel good about yourselves, and generally that energy carries over to the defensive end as well.
And on that Atlanta Hawk team, still a good team. We talked about, the problems at home, not as dominant perhaps as before. I mean, sure, Clark, for every coach, winning at home becomes priority number 1.
You know, and you look at their numbers, they won 34 a season ago and then just 24 in the recent season. I mean, that's a 33% drop. That's a significant change.
It is. Now, here's Pierce. Josh Smith unable to get his shot to go. Garnett against Johnson. And the shot is good from Garnett.
You know, nice work getting inside that time. I mean, that's the spot where his height advantage is really going to pay off for him, and he used it.
Heinrich outside. Back to Johnson. Pierce covering. Will it go? So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
Well, Johnson suffered through a subpar shooting year last season due to that elbow surgery that he had in December. Probably tried to come back a little too quickly, and you could tell it really affected his game.
Johnson, he's checked in for Atlanta. Johnson hits them both. As we get back to Joe Johnson, Steve just talking about him, and Clark, that elbow, as you mentioned before, gave him trouble all season long.
You know, Kevin, one of the things about being injured and having a surgery is you can get back and play, but it usually takes a full season or half a season before you can give the injury the kind of attention that you want to give it to get well. So that's why the offseason going into next year is going to be really important. It bothered him. I know it did, and he still played through it.
Well, I mean, if you rush getting a guy back on the floor and don't let that injury completely heal, you just cause him more problems.
And that's part of the business of pro sports. When you are able to play, even if you're not 100%, guys feel an obligation to do that, and they also feel pressure to do that.
On the money with the shot from the left block.
You can't give him any space out there.
Johnson against Pierce. Shoots a fader. Again, Pierce missing.
You know, after the disappointing end to their 2010 playoff push, the Hawks decided to make a change at the head coaching position and went with Larry Drew at the helm.
Here's Johnson. That's good, and it's Johnson with the assist.
What a great look to find him inside like that. I mean, that's the way to find him when you're ready to score, guys.
Rondo against Johnson. Allen for the three, and it's good, coming on the assist by Rajon Rondo. 8 points for Allen. Yeah, Clark back to Drew. They had Mike Woodson. He took him to the playoffs, but Larry Drew takes his place. Drew is on his staff. It was scrutinized early, but, you know, Steve, he took him back into the playoffs and deep into the playoffs.
Well, and that was their goal. They wanted to get back to winning a series in the postseason, and Drew was able to do that. They beat Orlando in the first round, and then they gave Chicago all they could handle in round 2.
Looking at who's out there now for the Hawks. Collins is checked in, and Tracy McGrady subbed in for Kurt Heinrich. Johnson can't get it to go. Celtics leading by 6. Here's Bradley. Kicks to Rondo. Over Teague. And Rajon Rondo, the basket on the assist by Bradley. Rondo's got his first basket.
Boy, they're scoring efficiently. They look very focused at the offensive end.
A nice start, no question, making all the right moves here early. Now, defensively, they have to pick up the intensity and close out on shooters.
Steve, you're right. I mean, they're getting picked apart out there, and the intensity on D's got to pick up as well. I mean, you can't have it on cruise control on defense.
Here's Teague after Rajon Rondo's bucket. Rondo is whistled for reaching in. That's his first foul. There's 37 seconds left here in the first quarter. Looking to end the run.
They've done a terrific job rebounding here so far, allowing no second chance point.
A shot by McGrady, no good. Celtics leading by 10. Left side Rondo. Trying his luck deep. No good.
Wow, what a board. The little guy somehow coming up with the ball.
1 second left, and it falls a bit short. So as we come back, it's been all one-sided so far through the first quarter as our second quarter gets underway. Joe Johnson and Josh Smith at the forward slots. Heinrich is out there with Tracy McGrady, and it's Johnson in at the center. So that's the Hawks 5.
I like the way they got the ball inside there.
And here are the Celtics now. Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris?
Kevin, Ray Allen's work ethic is the stuff of legend. He noticed when practicing coming off screens that he was better turning right because his dominant right eye locked on the rim faster. So he made a quick adjustment by turning his head faster when moving left. He said shooting becomes much easier because I know where I needed to be quicker. Guys, like a true technician, he's always looking for a way to refine that stroke.
He's something else, Doris. Thanks.
And you can see the way he breaks it down, almost scientifically. I mean, his great shooting is no accident.
Clock at 2. Kevin Garnett with the steal.
Tried to use the pump fake there, but...
And it's Garnett finishing it off. And now, here's the Sprite Slam Cam replay.
Come on now, I didn't see. Can you believe that finish? Boy, a little bit of flair and flavor at the end of it.
Oh, that'll be a fan favorite, all right.
That was not your average, typical dunk.
Guys, one of the things that I think you always have to watch for with the Celtics is they can turn you over. A really good defensive team. They were third in the league in steals last season, and they can be really disruptive pressuring the ball.
Here's what Atlanta's going with right now. Collins is checked in, and it's Kevin Garnett with the finish.
Boy, the big fella's showing us a little explosiveness for a change.
Well, maybe Clark is working on his dunk skills because he looked perfectly at home right there.
Yeah, sometimes he can clang those, so glad to see him get that one down.
Here is Heinrich, still looking to get on the scoreboard.
I thought Kevin Garnett really bounced back last season and looked better physically. Remember, the knee issues have been a problem over the years. But looked great last year and is always the key to that Celtics defense.
Garnett left side. Releases, and again it's Boston converting.
Seems to be getting better as this game goes on.
Kevin Garnett with the steal.
He did what he could to try to handle that pass, but that was too hard to handle.
Pierce is called for a loose ball foul. That's foul number 2 for him.
It's 2 fouls now here in the first half, so we'll see if they let him try to play through it.
Here's Teague. Atlanta calls timeout.
I think Coach saw a couple of things he wanted to correct. You got to make sure everyone's following the game plan.
Here is Heinrich. Right side, Williams. Again, the Hawks score. Here's Dooling, leading by 12. Open look. Bass is tagged with the loose ball foul. That's his first foul for the Hawks. Smith comes in for Joe Johnson. And Tracy McGrady subbed in for Kirk Heinrich. Making a switch here are the Celtics. Here's McGrady. The leaner inside. Drained for 2 points. Celtics leading by 10. Upside Rondo. Bass can't get it to go. Well, with the basket here, they could get back to within single digits. Smith outside. Feeds it to T. They're moving the ball. From deep, Williams' shot is good. Williams has got 5 points now this quarter.
He can be dangerous from out there. As a matter of fact, he can be lethal. His first from the arc after having none in the first quarter. Keep an eye on it. That's exactly where they wanted to go with the ball, even though he didn't finish.
Rondo gets the reach-in call. That's his 3rd foul of the game. And the Celtics making a change here. Pierce is checked in. Here's Teague. Here's Collins. Smith's shot is good. And now it's only a 5-point Celtic lead.
Well, you look at the Celtics a season ago, they went 23-18 on the road. And, well, that would be a good mark for most teams. That was Boston's worst road record in the last 4 years.
And that one's good by Pierce.
They're hovering around 50% for the game in three-pointers. That's pretty good. But they've really elevated here in the second quarter.
Allen against McGrady. Allen gets called for the reach. That's his first foul of the game, and the bonus will go to the free throw line. Steve, just talking about that Celtics road record. You think, Clark, that is something to be concerned about, 23-18 away?
Kevin, probably not. I mean, on their overall record, they gained 6 wins from the previous season. If there's any concern for the Celtics, it's probably the question of age and how much do the big three have left in the tank. But it is interesting when you think about it. Last year, when they felt, the year before rather, when they got to the NBA Finals, they didn't feel concerned about not having home court advantage in the Eastern Conference because they had been so good on the road.
Sure.
So that could have maybe put a little chink in their armor in last season's playoff.
Okay, well, let's check in with Doris Burke reporting from our sideline in this game. Doris, take it away.
Well, new head coach Larry Drew felt that Atlanta Hawks were too predictable on the offensive end when he took over. Oftentimes, they would stand around and wait for Joe Johnson to make a play. So he implemented a motion offense to remedy this problem. Drew said, now when you talk about defending us, you are not talking about locking in on certain guys in the same spots. We won't be as predictable. Guys?
Thank you, Doris. We'll see if the Hawks can make the most of that here.
And that's a good point by Drew. I mean, you can't get complacent or predictable on offense, or you're going to get eaten alive in the NBA. The coaching's too good.
Doolin is tagged with the reach. That's his first foul of the game, and the bonus will go to the free throw line. First one falls for him. So it's both teams making substitutions here. And so he makes both from the line.
They're not going away, and they've been aggressive drawing contact.
Free throws are always a good way to get back into it, too. The clock isn't running. They can cut into that lead. They get their defense set up as well.
And Pierce backs in. Fade away. Good!
Important shot to boost their confidence going into the break. They were kind of faltering and sliding down the stretch.
The third quarter now beginning. Both sides looking to pull away in the last half of the game. Here is Heinrich.
You know, looking back now to the 1998 draft, I'm sure there are some teams that picked ahead of Boston in that 10th spot that would like to do that one over and maybe take Paul Pierce, because he slid down that draft a little further than people expected, and he's become an absolute superstar for the Boston Celtics.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade for the second half of basketball. On the court for the Celtics, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce on the wings. Brandon Bass is out there with Garnett, and it's Rondo in at the point. Thinking back to Paul Pierce's draft out of Kansas, even at that time, it was somewhat surprising to see him drop like that in the rotation.
It really was. I can remember thinking about Paul Pierce and how I thought he was the one guy in that draft who really had a ready-made NBA position in game. And to see him slide, that's why the draft was more art than science. But at the end of the day, you know what? It's all about what happens when you get to the NBA, and he's proven to be a Hall of Famer.
And historically, one of the great Celtic scorers of all time.
Without question.
Tries a three. Rondo's shot is off.
You know, as tight as this game is, you have to like their chances the way they've been rebounding.
They have a pretty good margin in that department, so they've got to continue to hit the boards hard. It'll pay off for them in the end.
Johnson, he's checked in for the Hawks. The Hawks trail by 3.
Well, you look at Atlanta's team makeup last year, and it was similar to previous seasons. Very talented front court, some strong wing players, but nobody really running the show, and that was one of the reasons they traded for Kirk Heinrich at midseason.
On offense, here are the Celtics. Rondo kicks to Allen. Over Heinrich. There's Allen. That's good on the assist by Rondo. Rondo's got 6 assists here tonight. But back to Atlanta. They haven't had a controlling point guard in quite some time, Clark. You know, we heard Steve talk about Heinrich. Good pickup. They may still be looking for a little bit more.
Yeah, I think you may be right. Eventually, it always seems to catch up to them not having that elite, premier point guard type. They played well in the postseason without one, but they'll need a true floor general to become great to take that next step.
Remember a couple years ago, they had that high pick, and they could have chose
Chris Paul, CP3. Right. I remember that.
And they went another direction. Fires from the line, and he drops that one in. That's 10 points for Johnson.
Second half is flowing nicely so far on offense. 75% from the field is what they're shooting.
Here's Pierce, and it's good, coming on the assist by Rajon Rondo. And the Celtics lead by 7.
Well, it's been nice, efficient work, guys, that he's been doing. I mean, we haven't seen him take many bad shots, and that's the sign of a mature, poised player.
The Hawks are making a switch on the floor. Collins is checked in, and the Celtics making a change here. Here's Teague. Rondo gets the reach-in call. That's his 4th foul of the contest.
That's number 4 on him, and he's got to start being aware of how close he is to 6. I mean, he's got one more foul before being Dairy Queen. DQ'd, that is.
Ray Allen, he's checked in for Boston. Here's Johnson, working on Allen. Jumps up. Johnson can't hit.
And one thing with Johnson that was different last season was that the Hawks made an effort to try to limit his minutes over the course of the year. Remember, he signed that long contract. They want to keep him healthy and fresh so that he can really fulfill the years on that contract.
Puts it up. And the basket by Johnson. Johnson's got his 2nd basket of the night. Bradley dishes to Pierce. Over Teague. Number 54 is whistled for the loose ball foul. That is his 1st foul of the game. The Hawks trail by 7. Now Teague. Johnson kicks to Smith. Pierce covering from down low. And it's Smith missing. Clark returning to Johnson for just a minute. That's not easy as a coach to leave a guy like him off the floor.
Well, a player of his caliber becomes a bit of a security blanket for a coach, but you have to balance the urgency of the present with what's best for your long-term future as a team. And certainly when you look at a guy like Joe Johnson, you want to get efficiency and balance that with the minutes played.
Shot clock at 5. Here's Garnett. Right through the D for the layup. Garnett's got 14 points.
Now they've got to offer more resistance inside. Just too many easy buckets in the paint.
Yeah, Steven, that's the top priority for any defense. You got to protect the paint.
Knocked away. Pierce with the steal.
Well, that was not an easy play, but he made it look routine.
And that steal really triggered the fast break. Nice play.
Hey, you're right, and the break itself may have been even better.
There's the dish to Johnson. Tries to save it. Out of bounds. And they'll keep possession. Tracy McGrady's checked in for the Hawks. Heinrich comes in for Jeff Teague. And a change for the Celtics. Dooling's checked in. There's 53 seconds left here in the third quarter. Here's Smith. A rebound by the Celtics. They've led by as many as 14 points. Outside, Pierce. Now McGrady defending. Back to Pierce. Lets it go with the three. No good. Now Atlanta takes it the other way. Pierce gets called for the reach. And that'll be his third foul so far.
And that is a foolish mistake right there, guys.
You know, I don't think you can just have that happen. I mean, it's something that you just can't allow if you're going to play good basketball, if you're going to play winning basketball. I think he wanted some one-on-one time with the rim. He wasn't letting that thing go.
No, a little pose up there hanging on the rim, just kind of showing off a little bit, pardon.
That was some awesome above-the-rim action from Sprite we just saw on our Sprite Slam Cam. Bradley passes to Garnett. Now here's Heinrich. Just 3 on the clock. Off glass and in. And now it's only a 5-point Celtic lead. Here's Dooling. The shot is off. And off. Now let's check in with Doris Burke for our Sprite Spark of the Game. Doris?
Kevin, for that great stretch the Celtics just put together, they get the Sprite Spark Award. They look completely focused and on top of their game as they keep finding ways to extend this lead. This was the performance Coach was looking for at the start of the game, and they haven't disappointed.
Stuff, Doris, thank you. That was quite a run they had, Clark.
Yeah, I tell you what, Kevin, scoring bursts like that often tell the story, really. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
And that's been the case today. I mean, that's what you'd have to point to, I think, is the defining moment in this ballgame.
So with Johnson sitting on the bench, here's the group that Larry Drew has on the floor. We've got Teague. Tracy McGrady is out there with Marvin Williams. Then there's Heinrich, and it's Collins in at the 5 down low. And he's good on the second.
Rondo has always been a guy who has played with a chip on his shoulder, and that might have started in college because although he ended up with the Kentucky Wildcats, he felt that Louisville did not recruit him aggressively enough, and he used that as motivation when he got to Kentucky.
Here's McGrady, and 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. Getting back to Rondo, Clark, he definitely has that edge to him on the floor. Kentucky lucked out with his decision.
Well, the really good players always have an edge, whether it's real or perceived, and they maintain that in terms of their approach, their off-the-season workouts and how they play. And for Rondo, whatever it is, it served him well because he does play with attitude, and you need that. You got to have swag in this league.
Now, you and I did a couple of his college games. Did you ever think then that he'd become what he is now?
I didn't see it. Did not see it, Kevin. I thought he would be good, but I didn't see enough of what else he had in his book bag. And when he got to the Celtics, it was like, my goodness. Wow. There's a lot this guy didn't show us. You know, with the way they've dominated the glass so far, I'm a little surprised it's still a close game.
Yeah, you've got to take advantage. I mean, you're getting extra possessions, but you're not knocking down shots. Tell you what, they're struggling to protect the ball here. Kind of a messy second half.
That's as bad a miscue as you'll see. It's good to be thinking a few steps ahead, but you've got to maintain some type of current awareness, too.
Johnson, he's checked in for the Hawks. Smith comes in for Kirk Heinrich. Then for the Celtics, Kevin Garnett, he's checked in for Allen. And it's Avery Bradley in for Keon Dooling. Dives for it. Hollins kicks to Garnett. Williams picks him up. And Garnett misses. The Hawks trail by 5. Here's Teague. Here's Smith. Puts up the baby hook. Banks it in.
Boy, they are really getting chewed up inside here. I mean, that's 8 of the last 10 points they've given up inside, in the paint.
Yeah, and the paint should be sacred ground for a defense. I mean, you can't let anybody just trot in there and get an easy bucket.
It would be easy to go on at length about Rondo's shot, but one theory is his hands are actually too big, and I think there may be something to that. When you talk about some guys that have struggled shooting the ball, it's almost like he's holding a tennis ball out there. It's an asset in some ways, but maybe in terms of shot mechanics, it can be a little difficult.
Here's McGrady. A strong finish under heavy pressure all over.
Well, they've really picked up the intensity here since halftime.
I think they got the pep talk in both teams now, really going after each other.
Rondo dishes to Bass, and it's Johnson picking him up.
They've done such a nice job disrupting this offense and forcing turnovers. Both of these teams have really stepped it up offensively.
You know what, Steve? They haven't missed a chance, and I think both teams really know what's at stake on every possession here.
Bradley passes to Hollins, and the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line. Clark, you brought up Rondo's hands. He can palm the ball standing at only 6'2", but sometimes you see him drive the lane and look like he's going to pass and take it and back him and bring it back again, kind of the old okey-doke. He's a talented kid. There's no doubt. Few can do that, Steve.
No, that's impressive. At 6'2", to have hands like that, and that's a big reason why he's got such great ball control in transition, and that's why he gets so many steals, too. Long arms, big hands. He's just really, really tough to deal with out there.
Shoots the 3. No good. Excellent D there from Allen. The Celtics with the lead. Rondo kicks to Allen. Again, the miss by the Celtics. And so here is Atlanta. They've played a great fourth quarter defensively, allowing only 3 points. Johnson's shot is off.
And excellent interior defense there. Good rotations.
No doubt about it, Steve. He's a real presence inside. Takes up a lot of space.
Swiped it away. Here's Pargo. He's picked up by Rondo. Outside, Green. Shoots it up. The second chance bucket is good. And the Hawks lead by 1.
So nasty. I mean, really nasty. He hit the bullseye with that dish.
That is simply poetry in motion.
Beautiful play, huh?
A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
During that break, Coach Rivers had some words for his team. He talked about their problems at the free throw line, but tried not to make too big a deal out of it. He said, listen, if we keep getting to the line, the ball will start going through the net. The important thing is, keep getting there. Maybe that'll take a little pressure off him, guys.
Here's Teague. Smith dishes to Heinrich. Backing him down is Johnson. Gives him the lead pass, and it's sent back by Garnett. And it's the Celtics ball. They've led by as many as 14 points. Allen passes to Pierce. Money!
Big time shot.
Really clutch.
And here we go with Kirk Heinrich. Less than 1 minute left. Johnson kicks to Heinrich. Back to Johnson. Deflected by Garnett. And it's the Celtics with the ball. They lead by 4. Pierce for 3. They get it back. The second chance effort. And Garnett gets it to go on the assist by Bass. And it's a 6-point Celtic lead.
Time running low here.
Oh, and the dunk by Smith. Such a flashy play. Sprite Slam Cam. Watch it again.
Always some entertainment value when you go with the windmill jam.
Yeah, rim shaker and Steve a wrist breaker.
Outrageous. Man.
And so they choose to intentionally foul. Good on the first, and that puts them up by 5. Gets them both, and it's a 6-point ballgame.
Clutch free throws there. He drained them all to raise the lead.
Time called here. The Hawks decide to talk it over. They trail by 6. 29 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Shot and game clock separated by 5. Teague dishes to Johnson. Pierce with the steal.
Well, took advantage of the tight space on the inside to make the steal there.
And now they decide to foul intentionally. Gets the first. That makes it a 7-point lead. Perfect from the line, and it's an 8-point ball game. There's 18 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Here's Johnson. It's rebounded by Kevin Garnett. Now Rondo. Outside Pierce. Missed. And so it's the Boston Celtics with the W. They pulled off this win, Clark, with respectable performances on both ends of the floor.
Yeah.